everybody, thanks for tuning in. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to do a basic kettlebell swing. The most basics of the kettlebell movements are the double-handed swings, and I'm going to show you how to do 3 variations of that today because a kettlebell is an amazing piece of equipment. As a matter of fact, when I'm going camping or I'm traveling, a kettlebell is something that I bring with me because I can get a great workout in first thing in the morning before I go out for my day, or if we're at a remote campsite or nowhere near a gym, something in those circumstances. The kettlebell is something that takes up hardly any space, and it's a really dynamic way to get a workout in. So let's get right into it. First things first, if you want to know how to swing a kettlebell well, you have to know how to hip hinge with a neutral spine. The kettlebell swing that I'm going to show you today, and by the way, it's just called a swing, quarter swing, half swing, full swing, but the swing involves a hip hinge with a neutral spine. And what a hip hinge is if I was to touch my calves just barely to a bench like this while keeping my back straight, I would need to develop the skill to be able to do this. So the spine is neutral, meaning I'm not bending the spine at all. It's straight and upright, and from here I hinge at the hips and bend over. If my calves can touch the bench still at the bottom part of this movement, that is a proper hip hinge. If your back doesn't move at all, that is a neutral spine. So learning how to do this is fundamental. And the reason I say that is because I've taught thousands of people how to do kettlebell swings over the years. And one of the first things they do is they bring their knees forward in this position. When bringing your knees forward in a kettlebell swing, your back is straight up and down, almost, relatively speaking. And from this plane here, you're relying almost solely on your shoulders to swing the weight of the kettlebell up. Now, this is a 50-pound kettlebell. I have a couple different varieties of kettlebells as far as weight is concerned that I bring with me, but this definitely isn't a starter kettlebell for people just trying to get the basics down. So let's go over this real quick. Without the bench here, assuming you've mastered this already, you're going to start with the kettlebell about a foot in front of the line of your toes. If there's a line connecting your toes, you'd want the kettlebell out a foot in front of that line. So from this position, I'm going to bend down with my neutral spine and with my hip hinge. I'm going to angle this back, pull it to the hips, and then bring it up to the height of the navel, just like this. Now this is your basic quarter swing, just to the navel. A half swing is going to be up to the shoulders, and a full swing is going to be almost overhead. Your biceps are going to come right beside your ears at the top part of that swing. When setting the kettlebell down, it's the same thing. You put it a foot in front of the toes, and then you release it just like that. Those are the 3 most basic kettlebell swings. And you don't need to know a lot about kettlebells to learn those 3 swings. And these things can save you so much time and energy just worrying about how you're going to get your workout in. What I prefer to do is set a 30-minute timer for 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. And what I'll do is I'll swing this for 30, I'll take a 30-second break, and then I'll do that for 30 minutes total, 30, 30, 30. 30 seconds swinging, 30 seconds break, 30 minutes total. Now, like I said, I have a variety of kettlebells that I bring with me, usually only about 3. I have one for pressing motions, for overhead motions. I have one for swinging, and then my wife has one as well that's sort of in between the weight of those 2. So when considering which kettlebell is going to be right for you, the cool part is you can just walk into where they sell kettlebells and try a couple swings. You can try a bunch of different weights, a bunch of different varieties of the weights of the kettlebells to see what's going to work well for you. But this always goes into my travel pack. Anywhere I am, I can set a 30-minute Tabata style timer for 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, and I can just start swinging. I'll maybe warm up, pulling it to the navel in this position, and then I'll do a couple up to the shoulders, and then I'll do a couple all the way to the top, but never directly overhead. There's too much risk of this thing falling backwards and hurting you if you pull it overhead. So you always want to pull yourself, even for a full swing, which is right here, the biceps are kind of beside the ears, but you're never standing tall, pulling that thing straight overhead. So that's it. We got a quarter swing, we got a half swing, and we got a full swing. Those are the 3 different angles of your kettlebell. Make sure you get the hip hinge with the neutral spine down. And if you need to, practice with a bench. They're gonna have these at your local gym as well. You can always grab a bench, grab a kettlebell, and practice this motion here. Another thing is for the kettlebells, if you were to watch me from the front, I do have a fairly wide leg position. My wrists are gonna contact my inner upper thighs, and then I'm hinging this forward. This is mostly glutes, hamstrings, and then for support, you have lower lumbar and spinal erectors. And man, this is such a dynamic workout. You're working the whole body almost entirely from your hands all the way down to your calf muscles. And it's great. There's not a lot of videos out there just explaining the basics. This is the basics. You don't need to go crazy with your kettlebells. I don't do a bunch of totally different movements when I'm on the road training. I'm literally just doing quarter swing, half swing, full swing for 30 minutes, maybe twice a day, something like that, depending upon what else I'm doing. If I'm going on some aggressive hikes or something, maybe I'll only do it once a day, but I definitely like to start my day when we're traveling with 30 minutes of kettlebell swings. That's it. Here's a nice short video for you. I hope you get yourself one of these, whether that's trying it out at your local gym or even Walmart sells these. You can always walk into Walmart or Dick's or any other big box sporting goods store and just try it out. See what's going to work for you. This is an excellent thing to have if you're a person that travels regularly. And it's just an excellent skill to be able to swing this thing proficiently. So hope you guys like watching. If you have any other questions, make sure you ask those in the comments below. And I'll see you guys next time.